How do you and FlyQuest plan on dealing with Berserker?
I mean, it's just like any other bot lane that we go against. Like, we'll play the same way. If we see winning angles, we'll take them. And if we're just on the back foot, then we'll try to, like, lose gracefully.
So in game one, NRG picked Ashe, but then they opt into a lane swap, which kind of kills one of Ashe's strong points, which is the lane phase. So what was your initial reaction when they opted into the lane swap to move Ashe to top lane?
We weren't really that surprised, especially because Ashe, she can be a really good laner, but at the same time she has Hawkshot, and she has really good damage. So if she lane swaps, she can see exactly what the enemy is doing, and at the same time she can just dive the enemy top laner with anyone. So as long as your top laner is safe, then Ashe can also just do that.
So would you say like Ashe is like one of like the better lane swapping options overall, or?
I think she's really strong, yeah.
All right. So on the topic of game one, you ended nearly 5K gold up on FBI. Is this how you envisioned the matchup against him to go today, or was the experience kind of different from what you expected?
Well, my first LCS game against him, I think I was like 30 CS at 10 minutes, so I had some PTSD.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident, and I do think he's a good player, so I didn't think like we would just stomp them. So it did go better than I expected, but yeah, I was pretty confident anyway.
Because it seems to like really like Ezreal. So what about the champion do you, I guess, enjoy / what makes Ezreal function so well for you specifically?
I think just the fact that you can squeeze so much damage in and still have an option to, you know, like be safe with your E. I think that really attracts me to the champion, and then, you know, his damage is insane, his mobility is insane, so all of that is good.
So you're kind of like playing aggressive.
Yeah.
Would you then like draw a comparison to like Jackie Love's playstyle, or is there like a certain international AD carry you model yourself after?
Well, honestly, the first Ezreal I watched was Uzi, and that's like what I tried to base it off of. But I was like a gold player, so now it's like, I think I've been watching more recent players. So yeah, Jackie Love is one of them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So how does Olipop enable you to perform at your best?
You know, being a probiotic soda it gives me the best gut health for game day, so I can ensure I'm always feeling good for game day.
Yeah, so I did this exercise previously with Busio, where I had him pitch me Olipop. So if I was like a prospective buyer of Olipop, how would you sell it to me?
Well, honestly, it's hard not to like it because it's a soda, so you can get like the fizziness, and it can also you know, be like a good after meal drink without the high calories, and at the same time without like the super artificial sugars. So yeah.
Do you have like a favorite flavor? I know I have a lot of flavors. So.
Cream soda.
Cream
probably.
soda?
Yeah.
Consider me sold, because I might drink Olipop for this one. So it was a bit of a Tom and Jerry kind of series where you stomped game one, or you FlyQuest stopped game one, then NRG stomped game two, then you guys won game three convincingly, and then game four was like up in the air.
Yeah.
So kind of run me through what was going on today, because at times you guys looked really good, and at times you guys looked pretty shaky.
I think today we just weren't as decisive as a team. I think we knew our win conditions well because our team was like actively calling it, so that was good. But at the same time, we kind of, in my opinion, weren't sure when to fight and when not to fight. So, you know, the first game, we had such a big lead that it didn't matter that we didn't fight. We just stomped them the one fight that we had. And then the games after that, it became more apparent because the games were closer. So the more we did nothing, they took like both our towers, like tier 2s, bot and top, and then their Corki was getting super fed. And then we kind of just relied on mechanics, I guess, in team fights to outplay them, or like finding better fights than them as well. So yeah, I think just indecisiveness made it a closer series.
Yeah, so is this something you guys are worried about going into now your matchup against C9? Because C9 is obviously a very strong laning team, and with how much talent they have, I feel like the margin of error, the amount of mistakes you guys can make, is much lower against them. So kind of, are you worried about this going forward? And if not, how do you plan on fixing these things going into next week's match?
I'm not really worried about it. I would say like we're all just aware of it. I think especially against C9, like we'll clean everything up, and I guess depending on how our scrims go, we will be able to like make sure we're more decisive and know when to fight, when to take good fights, and when the fights are like too bad to take, so when to just do nothing. I think usually we're pretty good at that, especially inspired. So yeah, I'm not too worried.
All right. So, what would you say was the biggest error in game 2? Because, like I said, that was a game where NRG. I feel like stomped is not the right word. They played better. They won. So, what would you say is like the biggest mistake in game 2? Because I believe that's a game where Bobo picked. What did he have top lane? He had the Volibear.
Volibear, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, that game kind of felt out of control. So, kind of run me through what happened in that game.
First it was pretty hard because we had a losing lane bot lane, which will eventually bleed into mid and jungle because their support can just like move wherever he wants. And we're supposed to have like a pressure point somewhere, but also the top matchup didn't go well because I think something went wrong early. And then we ended up getting pushed in all 3 lanes. Our jungler couldn't farm. They got every objective and they slowly like choked us out, which was pretty well played by them. So yeah, they just took the game over and kind of choked us out.
Yeah, fair enough. So, like, overall, if you had to give yourself like a letter grade, or not yourself, but I guess yourself and the team, how would you grade your performance individually and as a team versus NRG today?
In the whole series?
Yeah.
For myself, maybe like a C.
Really?
Yeah, and then for my team, maybe like a C plus.
So you feel like this is like kind of like a barely passing, but there's still a lot of room to grow and play a lot better?
Yeah, like personally, I felt I did okay. Like I didn't do bad. I didn't do that good. Except like I guess the Ash game, I think.
Oh yeah, you had a lot of good ults.
Yeah, and then on the team, honestly, they did pretty well. But I just feel like as a team, we kind of weren't on the same page all the time. So.
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess last question I have for you is going into the matchup against C9, you're playing against Berserker, who ever since he joined the LCS, he's been considered one of the best, if not the best players in the league.
Yeah.
So what is your approach to playing against him? Because he's the kind of player where if he gets even a small lead, it's going to be very hard to contain him. So how do you and FlyQuest plan on dealing with Berserker?
I mean, it's just like any other bot lane that we go against. Like, we'll play the same way. If we see winning angles, we'll take them. And if we're just on the back foot, then we'll try to like lose gracefully. But just because it's Berserker doesn't change the way how we play, and yeah.
Fair enough. So do you have any words to the fans or anyone who might be a Massu enjoyer? Mosque of Massu member?
Just thank you all for watching, and there's a lot more improvement for me and the entire team, so I hope you keep following us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Massu.